Folks, the 2026 and 27 NBA season is fastly approaching. Free agency has mostly wrapped up with the exception of LeBron James. Summer League is over. We've seen the rookies play. We have a decent idea of how they might fare in the NBA, and all the major trades have gone down. Most teams have their identity for next season already built out. And in this episode, I want to go over the 5 sleeper teams I have that are being currently underrated right now, and I think can maybe surprise a lot of people in the upcoming season. Let's get right into it. Starting at number 5, I have the Indiana Pacers. Now, I've put them at 5 on this list, not because they're worse than the other teams I have ranked above them, but because most people do remember the 2025 run to the NBA Finals, the Game 7 that they definitely could have taken home had it not been for Tyrese Haliburton going down with his injury. But now, he's coming back better than ever with these guys because they have Ivica Zubac that they traded for, and they still have a very young core that's going to keep developing, and they have one of the best benches in the NBA. Looking at their roster right now, you've got Tyrese Haliburton, of course, coming back from his injury. You've got Andrew Nembhard likely going to start at the 2, and you've got Obi Toppin, who I think is going to start at the 3, followed by Siakam and Zubac at your big man lineup in your front court. I think that's a solid starting lineup, very complete. And that's just looking at the starters. You look at the bench, you've got TJ McConnell to back up Tyrese. Very consistent point guard, veteran guard, knows what he's doing. In the finals, he was very clutch in 2025, and he played phenomenal this year. You've got Ben Shepherd, who I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I think he'll make a big step this year. Along with Jarris Walker, I think this is a year that he definitely steps forward, steps up as a good bench asset. Aaron Nesmith just might be the biggest X factor for this team. And then you've got Quentin Jackson, and Jay Huff, all these other guys that are solid bench players. If you can just bring everybody back, make sure you got your numbers right, I think this team could make a deep run in a very contested Eastern Conference next season. At my number 4 spot, I have the Phoenix Suns. Now, I don't think that this team is going to be any sort of major playoff team, title contender, or nothing like that. But they blew my mind last season in 2025. Going into that season, I had the Suns ranked as one of my worst teams, only in front of the Sacramento Kings. And they ended up making the playoffs as an 8 seed. Now here, I am not going to doubt them one bit, because they've done nothing but get better. Their young talent has shown that they have improved phenomenally in the Summer League. And I definitely think that this team could ruffle some feathers out west. The 2 main reasons I think the Suns are going to show everybody up this season is their defense that they've acquired through the Miles Bridges trade. Adding him to pair along with Dillon Brooks just improves their grit and grind style of play and adds to their defensive pressure on the other side. Pair this with the scoring of Devin Booker. You've signed Luke Kennard. Jalen Green is going to take a massive step forward this year, I think, whenever he's got more control of the team. He's now got more access. He's now a star rather than what he was in Houston, just one of the plethora of young talent that they had. They've got a lot of young talent coming in. Kaman Malach, his sophomore season, was very promising in the Summer League, put up an amazing performance throughout those games. Koa Pete did the same, showing that his rookie season could definitely go better than we expected. And then the rest of this team is just so young. I think Jalen Green is going to take a massive leap forward. I think Oso Ighodaro is going to be huge. They've signed Luke Kennard for spacing. They've brought back Colin Gillespie, and their offensive capability is great, and it also gives potential for their defensive capability because of who they've signed and traded for over in this offseason. On top of this, you've got X factors like Pat Spencer coming in from Golden State. He played amazing over there when he was given a backup point guard role. He could definitely make some noise in Phoenix and add to this team's potential. I definitely think Phoenix is going to be a team to watch out for, and in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if they make like a 5 to 6 seed in the playoffs. The Western Conference right now is really weird because the top 3 spots are pretty much divvied out right now to OKC, San Antonio, and Minnesota. However, that 4 through 8 spot is anybody's game, and I think Phoenix could definitely pull what the Hawks did this season for the East and take that 6 seed spot and maybe even make some noise and put some beatings on some championship contenders. I'm not saying win the series, but maybe give them a run for their money. This team is very special, and I think that they've got a lot of potential going in. At my number 3 spot, I have the Atlanta Hawks. Now, as of a few days ago, they had just traded for Lou Dort, And I think that this is going to be huge for them. I actually think that they are going to be one of the best defensive teams in the NBA because they have two of the best on-ball defenders now on the exact same team with Dyson Daniels and Lu Dort. Now, scoring-wise, this team might be a little problematic. However, they have the defensive potential to where that doesn't really matter too much, I believe. Looking at this roster right now, you've got CJ McCollum for scoring. You've got Kingston Flemings, who I think is going to come in and make immediate impact as a guard. He's around the same age as most of these Hawks players, so I think he's going to be leaned on a lot more than people think. You've got Onyeka Okongwu for defense. You've got Dyson Daniels and Lu Dort, the two best on-ball defenders you could argue in the league on the same team. Nickeil Alexander-Walker to tie the knot. And then, of course, you've got the MVP candidate last season, Jalen Johnson, who I think is going to take another major leap forward now that he's got full control and now that he has the keys to this franchise. And on top of this, you've got Buddy Hield for shooting. You've just got Ryan Nembhard from that trade. Things are looking up for Atlanta. And they made some noise last year, made a 6 seed, had a huge second half of the NBA season. I think that they can carry forward and maybe secure a 5 seed even in the East. Granted, the East is so competitive right now. I think it's anybody's game on those top few seeds, and I think the Hawks are a step below them. However, I definitely think that they could be making some noise going into this NBA season coming up. At my number 2 spot, I have the Portland Trail Blazers. This team has done so much this offseason. They've lost a few guys like Matisse Thybulle. That definitely hurt them. But they've traded for Ja. And normally I would say that's a bad thing, but considering the package that they gave up to get Ja Morant, I think this is a risk-free risk, essentially. I mean, they gave up next to nothing, a bad contract in Chris Murray. And I think if Ja succeeds, great. You've just got another guard to add on to your plethora of guards, and you've got more depth. And if he doesn't work out, oh well, you have Drew Holiday, you have Damian Lillard, you have Shaedon Sharpe, you have Scoot Henderson. That's 4 solid point guards. It's a lot of guards, but they can make something work with that. And then, of course, you've got Toumani Camara, who I think is going to take a step up. I think Deni Avdija is going to be huge next season. I think he could definitely be an MVP candidate depending on how he plays. And they've signed Robert Williams III. I think he's going to be great for them as a center. They signed him a bit, I think it was early last season. And then, of course, you've got two big wild cards, Donovan Clingan and Yang Hansen, however you say his name. I think both of those guys, 2 young 7-foot centers, this team is complete. Now, they're naturally going to be slept on because of the small market issue. They're a small team. Not many people really pay attention to them. And that's exactly why I think they're going to sneak up under everybody, under the rug, and could potentially make some noise and sneak into the 4 seed, I think, over Denver. I think they could even take away the 3 seed from what I think could be Minnesota. This team has so much potential. I think they have the potential to go to the conference finals. I think that I don't think they're a championship contender, but I think that they can make a very deep playoff run coming up. And the Ja Morant test is going to be all I need to see. I'm very excited to watch this team play. I'm excited to see how they play together. Damian Lillard's going to come back and bring some guidance to this very incredibly young team. Him and Drew Holiday both, I think, are going to be solid anchors to lead these young guys to a deep playoff run and develop them further to maybe shoot for a title in 4 or 5 years. And lastly, my number 1 most slept on team in the NBA going into next season is none other than the Utah Jazz. Now, this team is done rebuilding. They have everything they need. I'm not saying they're going to be great this season. They've still got a lot of development to do. They're still incredibly young, but this team has everything. They've drafted Darren Peterson, who put on a phenomenal performance in his Summer League debut and in the games after that. They've got Keontae George, a 22-year-old guard, 6'4", tall guy. He's on a decent contract. I think he's going to take a major step forward. And I think he could definitely ruffle some feathers, rock the boat a bit for them. They've got Jackson Hayes from the Lakers. They've traded for Jaren Jackson Jr. And Lauri Markkanen just had one of the best seasons of his career. I'm not even mentioning half the team. You've got Ace Bailey going into his sophomore season. He's got all of his issues figured out. You've got Isaiah Collier, who I think is going to be a solid bench guard. You've got Bryce Sensabaugh, a young forward who's definitely could take a decent step forward this offseason going into next season. And then you've got Jusuf Nurkic, a valuable veteran center that could lead some of these bigs into positions of greatness. Like, can you imagine how much impact Jusuf Nurkic could have on Jackson Hayes? And that's just a small bit of what this Utah Jazz's potential is. I definitely think that this is the most slept on team because in the past few seasons, they've just been rotting in the bottom of the barrel. They've been getting table scraps. They've been getting lottery picks after lottery picks and falling and falling and falling. And finally, they hit the jackpot and it's finally starting to come together. This Utah Jazz team has a vision. If they can get a decent center to replace the loss of Walker Kessler, I think in the next few years, this is a top 5 team in the Western Conference. I firmly believe that. This team is very special, and in 5 to 7 years could even be a championship contender. Folks, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I had a lot of fun going over these 5 sleeper teams that I firmly believe will make major moves in the next NBA season. I think these teams are all going to fly under the radar most of the NBA season. I think the first half, not many people are going to be paying attention. They aren't going to have many nationally televised games, and they're just going to kind of, no matter how they do, like I said, fly under the radar. They're not going to get much attention, but come second half of the season, like post-trade deadline, these teams are going to be keeping their consistent winning streaks. They're going to be winning more. They're going to be having better performances from their stars. Their talent is going to show, and people are going to start tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and as for me, I'm Luke Dunlap, clocking out on a high note. Take care, y'all. Peace.